cosita, yo te doy lo que tú necesitas. Solo quiero que tú seas mía, quiero hacértelo. La luna yo te bajaré, mi corazón te lo daré. Conmigo vas a enloquecer, yo quiero estar contigo.
A speedy welcome to the show for everyone. This is Speedy Sports on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi. We bring you moments of your life, and I am Benjamin Kuji. Tomorrow is the Jollof Derby. It's so funny when they call it the Jollof Derby, but that's how it has metamorphosed into. But before we go into that, let's bring you up to speed with the latest sport news around you and around the world. The football world unites today after a car plunged into a packed crowd celebrating Liverpool's winning the Premier League title, sending 27 people to hospital. Police ruled out terrorism following the incident in the city as thousands turned out in torrential rain to see Liverpool's victory parade. 4 children were amongst those injured, one seriously after a dark-colored vehicle swerved through the crowd minutes after the player open-top bus had passed by. Police arrested a 53-year-old white British man as prayers and messages keeps pouring in from all over the sporting world. Former Super Eagles captain Sunday Oliseh had been appointed into the International Football Association board. The former Super Eagles captain and coach made this known on his X handle as he expressed joy at joining IFAB's board. I am thrilled to announce my appointment to the International Football Association board, Oliseh wrote. IFAB is the global guardian of football's law, responsible for determining the law of football, shaping the beautiful games for players and fans worldwide. In recent years, Oliseh worked closely with FIFA, including as a member of its technical study group, offering analysis and insight at major tournaments such as the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio and the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. The appointment to the IFAB board will see the Nigerian legend work with some of football's most influential figures, including legendary Arsenal boss Arsene Wenger. This is Speedy Sports on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi. My name is Benjamin Kuji. I'm back to our topic of discussion. Friendly. Okay, let's say it's a friendly in name, but rarely in nature. Ghana and Nigeria are set to rekindle their fierce rivalry when they face off in the G-Tech Community Stadium on Wednesday evening in the Unity Cup. Matches between these two West Africa giants are never short on intensity, with football serving as just one of the major battlegrounds in the long-running contest that stretches into cuisines, music, and culture. Lagging in the Jollof Derby of late, Ghana now have a chance to restore some lost pride, having failed to win any of the last 4 encounter against their perennial foe across all competition. And I ask, for the sake of pride, history, and banter, how important is the Nigeria versus Ghana derby tagged the Jollof Derby? For me, I think as a fan, I don't know how to place this, but as a fan, I see this as a very, very important match. I don't know how the players will react to this, but it's a very, very important match. So I don't know what the fans the players may be thinking about right about now, but we know that this is one of the greatest derby in West Africa. This is one of the greatest derby in West Africa, and you cannot take it away. When you go into the history, you study the matches between Ghana and Nigeria, it has always been packed. So that is why I'm asking to you, do you think it's a very, very important match? You can have your say by calling our studio lines on 0808 427 5464. I'll take it again, 0808 427 5464. What is your take on this? How important is this match to the players and the fan? In the 2002 AFCON between Nigeria and Ghana, if some of you remember that match where Ike Shorumo was injured on the pitch. He was a Nigerian goalkeeper. He was injured on the pitch, and he was rushed to the hospital, resuscitated in the hospital, and it was. Some of us thought it was life-threatening. Actually, it was life-threatening. And after so many years, Ike Shorumo was asked what happened. He said, the rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana is one that nobody takes for granted, and players are ready to even put their bodies, their life on the line when it comes to these matches. So for you as a fan, how do you see this match? It's actually a friendly, but do you see it as a friendly, or you are seeing it as one of those derby that you think Nigeria should win? You think that Nigeria should win this one because going by history, I think Ghana has the better of Nigeria. Ghana has always had the better of Nigeria. After playing 56 matches together, Ghana have won 25, drawn 19, while Nigeria won. That is at home. Ghana have won 25, drawn 19 in their home. Then Nigeria at home has won 12, drawing 12. So you can see how this is. Ghana has always have the upper hand. So what is your take on this? Call our studio line. Call us and tell us what you feel about this friendly match tomorrow. It's a Unity Cup. Our studio line is 0808 427 5464. 0808 427 5464. And if you have been following the Nigerian Ghana match, you discover that a lot of time there has always been controversy. Sometimes it mostly happens on the Nigerian part. I remember when Nigeria lost to Ghana in the Abuja Stadium here in Abuja Stadium, the fans were so angry and they decided to attack both the Nigerian players and the Ghanaian players. I'm not saying that is actually good. It wasn't a good one because it wasn't even a sight to behold. It was a very, very bad one. But it was the frustration and how the Nigerian fans take it when they are playing Ghana. I think there are just two countries that when Nigeria are playing against them in Africa, we don't take it for joke. Nigeria, Cameroon. We don't play with those matches. And I think also of recent, South Africa is coming into the mix gradually. when you follow the banters online, you discover that South Africa is actually coming into it. But what is your take on this? What's your take on this? Call our studio lines on 0808 427 5464. 0808 427 5464. So the banters, those of us that go online, if you follow the last AFCON online, and if you are in some of these groups on social media, especially on Facebook, you discover that there is this banter that always go on, especially between Nigeria and Ghana. It goes beyond just football, even as something as little as rice. The Ghanaian will say their jollof rice is the best. Nigerian will say their jollof rice is the best. In music, Ghanaians will say their music are the best or is the best. Nigerians will say they produce some of the best music. And Ghanaians are actually even saying that most of our music are copied from Ghana. So it has gone to that level. Almost everything between Nigeria and Ghana has always been, there's always a rivalry. So the match tomorrow, Nigeria versus Ghana, how do you see this match? How do you see it going on? How do you see the reaction of our players? How do you see the banter? How do you see it's going to be on social media? Have your say here. You can call us on 0808 427 5464. 0808 427 5464, and let us have your say. You can also comment on our social media handle, that is Facebook. I'm talking about Facebook. You can comment on our Facebook handle, that is Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi. When you comment there, we will read your message here live. Let's just go down through history lane, and let's just see some controversies when it comes to matches between Nigeria and Ghana. I think they said the first, I wasn't there, so I will say the first, and I got to read and study some of them. The first match between Nigeria and Ghana was in 1951. That was even before our independence. It was a competition, and that one, the Ghanaians pumped Nigeria 5-0. And the second one was also in 1955. That one too, the Ghanaians pumped Nigeria 7-0. That was how it all started. We have a caller. Hello.
Good evening.
Evening. What is your name and where are you calling us from?
Kenneth calling from Nigerian Air Force Base, Makurdi.
Okay, Kenneth, go on. How do you see the rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana?
Rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana, the rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana, I think in football, I think Ghana have the edge over Nigeria. Yeah, but when you talk about other things like the jollof derby and the music derby, I think Nigeria are way ahead of the Ghanaians.
Yes.
They just say it for saying sake. But in football, I think they have an edge over Nigeria. And I also think tomorrow's match, in respect of the fact that it's just a friendly, even though it's called the Unity Cup, it's an opportunity for Nigeria to avenge the World Cup that they missed at the hands of Ghana. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks for calling.
Welcome.
Yeah. So it's an opportunity for Nigeria to avenge the loss to Ghana that cost us the World Cup. It was so painful. I remember that match vividly. It was so painful, and the most painful part of it is that we didn't actually lose the match, but we didn't qualify. The first match we played 0-0 in Ghana. The other match in Nigeria we played, I think 1-1 or so, and it was so painful. They qualified based on the away goal rule, and it was so painful that since then, I don't know if it's the bad luck that is fooling us, that up till now we are finding it very, very hard to qualify for the World Cup. If you are just joining us, this is Speedy Sports on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. My name is Kuji Benjamin, and this is Speedy Sports. We are discussing a very important one, the Jollof Derby. And I asked the question, for the sake of pride, history, and banter, how important is the Nigeria versus Ghana Derby, the popularly called the Jollof Derby? How important is this match to you as a fan and to the players? When I want to talk about the players, I don't just know how to say this, because our players of recent, I don't know if they still have that pride, that not just that pride, but there's this feeling we have when we are talking about Ghana, that Ghana are better than us. We don't just accept it. I remember arguing with a Ghanaian, and he told me that even independence, we had to learn from them, that everything we have to learn from them, that they got independence before us. Despite all my arguments, I couldn't win that. So what is your take on this? Like I was saying, the first two matches pre-independence, they defeated Nigeria 5-0, 7-0. And the next match was the year we got our independence, 1960. That was the Summer Olympics 1960, where Nigeria lost to Ghana 4-1. And that match, there was a lot of controversy in that match, because after the winning of that match by the Ghanaian team, there was a Nigerian journalist who said he disguised himself as a Ghanaian, went to where before the match, went to where the club were having their club team talk, and they brought this witch doctor. According to him, it's on the news. It's something that is verifiable. According to him, they brought this witch doctor that brought things up like puppets, and they tied the Nigerian players, tied their legs, and did their things. And when Nigeria went to the match, Nigeria couldn't win, according to the journalist. I don't know if juju, as they call it, actually works in football. I doubt it. I don't tend to agree with that juju works in football, but this is Africa. So that one was in 1960. So you can see that even when Nigeria lost that one, they refused to accept the loss, that there was some sort of spirituality involved in it. They can't just lose like that. That is the rivalry we are talking about. How do you see this? Call our studio line. Call us on 0808 427 5464. 0808 427 5464. And let us have your say. I'm also waiting to read your messages on Facebook. That is Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi. When you send your messages, I'll be here to read them live. And there are also matches that we can talk about. It goes on and on and on. There is also the 19. Okay, like we have a caller here. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm coming from Benue State.
Where in Benue State?
Hello.
Where in Benue State?
Yes.
Where are you calling us from?
From Benue State.
Where in Benue State? Where in Benue State?
High level.
Okay, high level. What's your name?
Regina.
Okay, Regina. How do you see the rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana? How do you see the rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana?
Good.
Okay. It's like this one is not for us. That one is not for us. All right. Thanks for calling. So, there is this match between Nigeria in 1974. 1974, the match between Nigeria and Ghana in Lagos. That one too, Nigeria lost that match, and it resulted to a serious riot in Lagos. And I think the president that time had to call the military and the police to come and package the Ghanaians, so to speak, and because it was so violent that they had to build they had to, I don't know how to put it, safeguard the Ghanaians even from the pitch. They say they had to, the Ghanaian government had to send a chartered plane to come and carry the Ghanaians player to fly them out of Nigeria. That was how bad that was. You can see that this rivalry is something that goes way, way back. It goes way, way back. It's not something of recent. Then we can also talk of the recent one in Abuja here. I just talked about it. It's the one that I think all of us, we know that one. There is a lot of them. A lot of them. There are also the ones that the Nigerian team won. I think there is match where Nigeria won against Ghana, and one of the Ghanaian players, Charles Taylor, he came out and said, I think that was the 2002 AFCON qualifiers, 2002 World Cup qualifiers between Nigeria and Ghana in Nigeria here, where after the match, the Ghanaian player said when he went into the stadium, he met the Nigerian players. Then that time it was the JJs, Okocha, Kanu Nwankwo, Finidi George, that he was starstruck. Like, we have a caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
A very good evening to you, sir.
Evening. What is your name and where are you calling us from?
Oliver Nyikia, better known as Busy Brain, the king of sport in Abenga here in Alede.
Busy Brain, you're welcome.
God bless you, sir.
How do you see the rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana?
Yes, when it comes to Nigeria vs Ghana, I remember the time the Black Stars trouble us here, where boys begin to spoil or throw things on the stadium here in Oyo.
Yeah. So
looking at that match between Nigeria and Ghana, I think this is a challenge now to we the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So I don't think the boys will allow them to do the same thing to them again. So for me, I'm looking at we Nigeria, the Super Eagles. I'm not saying because I'm in Nigeria, but I'm seeing the Super Eagles beating the Ghanaians. They will beat the Black Stars of Ghana, blue and white.
Wow.
Yes, we'll give them like 3-0 or 3-1.
So you are saying you are confident of the squad that Eric Chell is using? There is no Victor Osimhen, there is no Arokodare, there is no Lookman.
Yes, I'm not all that confident with the squad, because whenever Super Eagles are playing without Osimhen, I'm not feel happy whenever the match is going on, because Osimhen is the only player that give me joy, Osimhen and Lookman. So without the absence of these two young men, and it will be a difficult one, but I see the Super Eagles winning. Okay. When they introduce a new face, the new boys there, they will also pick up a challenge and say, yes, we will also play in the shoes of Osimhen and Lookman. Okay. So they will make us proud.
All right. Thank you, Busy.
God bless you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
But if you look at it of recent, since 2006, I think Nigeria has been very, very, they are performing well. They've played, since 2006, they've played 16 matches. We have a caller. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Kenneth calling back from Nigeria Network.
Okay, Kenneth, go on.
Yeah. To add to what I earlier said, to tell how serious Nigerian derby and the Ghanaians.
Yeah.
That is because of how serious they take it. That's why they have to bring in things like the jollof and our music. That's why, if my memory serves me right, I think that was 2010 or so. I've forgotten the year exactly. That Junior Gogo had to poke the eyes of Mikel Obi with.
Yeah. I remember that one.
That was to tell you how serious they take the derby between Nigeria and Ghana. I think Nigeria and Ghana's derby has even gone more beyond what we call the classic in Spain.
I think that is 2007.
Was it 7 or 6?
It's 7. It was played in Brantford.
Yes, no, I think it was in the Nations Cup that Agogo had to poke the eyes of Mikel.
Okay.
I remember then I was in Port Harcourt where one of my uncles said that's because Mikel Obi had no pedigree, because if it was a player like maybe people like Mikel and J.J. Okucha of those days, Agogo would not even have the guts to try what he did. But because Mikel Obi then had no pedigree in football, that was why Agogo could do that to him.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for calling.
You're welcome.
You can see that the jollof derby, as it is tagged now, is very, very. It's one that we football fans we don't play with. So I think that's how we'll end that segment of the show for today. There are no matches. I think tomorrow we just have the Conference League, Real Betis versus Chelsea, and we wish Chelsea the best. If Chelsea cannot win the Conference League, I don't know what they will win again. And also the match we are talking about, Nigeria versus Ghana, is to be played by 7 p.m. Nigerian time. You can watch it on DSTV and GoTV. Thanks for keeping a date with us. I'll see you another exciting edition tomorrow on Speedy Sport here on Asking Radio 98.5. My name is Kuji Benjamin saying bye.
This is
Asking Radio 98.5 FM.
Oh yeah.